This is part 4 of chapter 3 for standard 7, Properties of Matter. So come along students, let's learn and understand it. This video was made just for you. Do remember to like, share and subscribe. Let's learn more about soil. Now before that, let's recall what we have already learned. What is meant by soil? How is soil formed? What are the ingredients of soil? Do you remember the answers? To check your answers, you can visit our website at www.jkacademypro.com. Let's learn about the properties of soil. Now, color is an important property of soil. We have seen soil of different colors. How does a soil get its color? The soil gets its color as a result of several processes. The color of the soil near the land surface is darker than the color of the lower layers. That is, on the top layer, the color of the soil is darker, and as you go deeper inside, the color becomes lighter and lighter. Soil may be of different colors, such as black, red, copper, yellow, grey. The colors of the soil are useful for its classification. That is, we can distinguish the various properties and various types of soil by the color of the soil. Now, besides, they are indirectly useful in indicating several properties of the land. So, not only to classify the soil, but we can also understand the different types of land that is available. So, in this way, the properties of the soil, such as its fertility, how fertile it is or how non-fertile it is, drainage of water, how the water can be drained out, that is how porous it is or how strong it is, capacity to hold water, become clear from its color. Now, the color of the soil depends upon its texture also. Texture means what it consists of, how it is the feel of the water, of the soil, and its organic ingredients, as well as on chemical ingredients like iron and lime. So, by looking at the color of the soil, we can understand what it consists of, the texture, the chemical components, or the organic components in the soil. So, the color of the soil gives us a lot of details about the soil. Try this activity. For this, you'll require the apparatus, that is, the things that you'll require are 3 measuring cylinders, as shown in the figure, 3 glass funnels, 3 filter paper, and water, fine sand, coarse sand, soil from any earthen pot used for growing plants. Fine sand and coarse sand. Fine means very fine it should be, and coarse sand means it could be rough sand. Now, how will you go about it? What is the procedure? Fit the cones of filter paper, that is, make cones out of the filter paper and put it in the funnel. Fit the cones of the filter paper in the 3 glass funnels. Now, fill the cones with equal quantities of, in the cylinder A, that is the cone where the in which the cylinder A, in cylinder A you put sand, and in cylinder B, in that cone, in the you put sandy soil, and in the third one you put clay. Now place the funnels on the measuring cylinders. Now pour 1 test tube of water into each of the funnels and observe how much water is collected in each of the measuring cylinders. So what inferences will you draw from this? What will you find out? If you look at the picture alongside, you will see that in cylinder A, the water has drained out more than in cylinder B and in C. So, what was there in cylinder A? That is, what was there in the cone? It was sand. And in cylinder B, we had put sandy soil, that is the coarse sand. And in the third one, we had put clay in it. So, this tells us that water drains out faster in sand rather than in the soil. Now let's learn about the soil texture. The soil contains particles of different sizes. What is soil made up of? Soil is made up of various particles and that are of different sizes. Now the texture of the soil, that is how you feel the soil when you hold it in your hand. The texture of the soil is determined by the proportion of particles of various sizes in it. If the particles are very fine, so the texture you will feel very smooth texture. But if the particles are of little thicker sizes, then you will find it the soil to be little rough. Now, following are the types of soil on the basis of its texture. So, there are three types of soil that we see: sandy soil, silt soil, and clay soil. So, let's understand each of them. Now, sandy soil. The proportion of sand, that is, large particles, is high in sandy soil. So, you will find that it is more rough. The water drains rapidly, that is, very quickly through sandy soil, and it is very easy to plow this soil. Okay, but it is less fertile, so hardly any vegetation grows in this. Now, why is this? This is because the particles of sandy soil are made up of the mineral called silicon dioxide, that is quartz. Now, these particles do not dissolve in water, and therefore the soil has very little capacity to supply nutrients. So if the soil cannot supply nutrients, from where will the plants get the nutrients? So therefore you will not find plants growing in sandy soil. Now let's understand about the silt soil. The particles of silt soil are of medium size compared to what the sandy soil is. This is slightly lesser. The silt soil is not as plowable as sandy soil. Sandy soil is very soft, you can plow very easily, but silt soil is little bit, tougher. However, it is much more plowable than clay soil. Okay, so therefore it is at the medium level than sandy soil and clay soil. This soil contains a large proportion of organic matter. That is, lot of nutrients are present in it, and its capacity to supply nutrients is also much greater. So silt soil is also called sedimentary soil. So therefore this type of soil is very good to grow crops and other vegetation. Now let's learn about clay soil. Now in this soil the proportion of small particles is maximum. So it is very fine. Now the particles of clay soil feel smooth to touch, and clay soil has a high water holding capacity. That is, it retains a lot of water as compared to sandy soil and silt soil. Use your brain power. Think about this. Why is it difficult to plow clay soil, and why is it easy to plow sandy soil? What is the water holding capacity of silt soil, and which soil is suitable for cultivation and why? Think about it, find the answers, and to check your answers, you can visit our website at www.jkacademypro.com. You'll find the link in the description box below. We learned about soil texture. Now let's learn about soil structure. So, what is soil structure? Soil structure depends upon the different shapes of the particles in it. So, how is the soil shaped? So, as the layers of soil are formed, how does the shape takes place? Now, soil occurs in the form of columnar, laminar, granular, as well as block-shaped structures. So, you can see the different kinds of soil structure alongside on this picture given to you. Importance of soil structure. Now, why is soil structure so important? Now, the fertility of soil depends upon soil structure. So, the advantages of good soil structure are as follows. Roots get a sufficient supply of oxygen, and water drainage is good. Therefore, the roots of plants grow well. So, the soil structure help us to determine whether the soil can be fertile or not fertile. Uses of soil. Let's learn about the various soil uses. Then the first and the most important is plant conservation. That is, it helps plants to grow. So we know that without soil, we cannot have any type of plants. So plants can grow and survive because of the soil. The second useful thing about the soil is water conservation. It means that soil holds the water. As a result, because of this, we can get a good supply of water by means of building bunds and lakes. So we can get water for use throughout the year. And the third is the plasticity. That is, soil can be given any required shape. We can make various products with the help of soil. So, this property of soil is called plasticity. Now, because of this plasticity, we can use it to make articles of a variety of shapes. These articles can be baked to make them hard. And water storage earthen pots, earthen lamps, idols, bricks, etc. are articles made from soil. Now let's learn about some useful types of soil. The first one is called the china clay, or it is also called kaolin. Now it is white in color and it is used to make crockery, that is your plates, cups, saucers, all those things. It is also used as bathroom tiles, then in tanks, laboratory apparatus, masks, jars, etc. The second type of soil is the shadu soil. Now it is whitish in color and it is used for making statues and idols. The third type of soil is the terracotta soil. Now this soil is red in color and we can make decorative articles as well as pots that are used for growing plants are made from this soil. The fourth type of soil is the multani soil. Now this soil is used in cosmetics, that is when they use it for making the face mask in cosmetic products. We know that all our crockery, that is, cups, saucers, plates, bowls, are made of china clay. So, what is china clay? China clay is an industrial mineral of the type kaolinite and it is found in China and hence it is called china clay. Now, what is so special about it is upon heating, this soil acquires a glaze, that is, it shines and hardens, and therefore it is used for making crockery. Now, let's understand what is soil testing. The proportions of the various ingredients of soil can be determined by soil testing. That is, what all things contain in this particular soil. So, they collect the soil, a part of it, and they test it. Now, during soil testing, the soil is examined for color, texture, and the proportion of organic matter in it. That is, how much of a particular organic matter is present in it. Now, soil is tested to find out if there is any deficiency, that is, less of any of the ingredients, and to decide what measures should be taken, that is, what action should be taken to remove the deficiency. That is, how can we, remove the deficiency, or that is, the soil is made proper for and increase the fertility by adding whatever ingredients are lacking in it. What is the procedure done while soil testing? Now, for that, the soil sample is collected for testing, is first dried in an open space in the shade for 8 to 10 days, and it is then sifted through a sieve. Now, which are the tests done? Namely, there are two tests that are done. One is the pH, and the other one is the electrical conductivity test. Now, these two tests are done and they are particularly useful in finding out the characteristics of the soil. That is, what all things are there. What is the texture? What is the color? What are the ingredients present in it? What is, whether it is deficient of anything, whether it has more of something. So you can also determine the fertility of the soil. And based on these tests, what happens is the farmers are able to find out beforehand whether their crops are, you can grow the crops or no. So before growing the crops, they will do the test, and if anything is required, if the soil is deficient in some minerals or something, so they will add the nutrients or ingredients, and only then they will start farming. Now, what are the causes of diminished soil fertility? That is, the soil fertility has reduced. What could be the causes? One is the soil pH is less than 6 or higher than 8. So, both are bad. So, it has to be between 6 and 8. So, somewhere around 7. Then, low proportion of organic matter. So, the nutrients are less, organic nutrients are less in the soil. And no proper drainage of water. So, water may not drain out properly in a proper proportion. That is, either lot of water may drain out or the water could get collected. Both are not good for the crops. And repeated cultivation of the same crop. So if you keep on growing the same crop, what happens? The nutrient value or the fertility of the soil goes down. Therefore, farmers practice rotation of crops. That is, they grow different kinds of crops in their farms. Then we have continuous use of saline water. So if the water has a lot of soil, or lot of salt and lot of minerals in it, and you continuously use that water, then the salinity of the water, that is salt content in the water in the soil, becomes more. And so when the salt content in the soil is more, plants or crops do not grow well. So that also adds to the diminishing soil fertility. Then number 6 is excessive use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. So those farmers who use chemical fertilizers, or they are using a lot of pesticides, what happens is these chemicals, fertilizers and pesticides go into the soil and remain in the soil, and that's how the fertility of the soil goes down. The Danish scientist Sorensen put forth the concept of pH. Now, what is pH? pH is nothing but to determine the acidity. Now, based on the concentration of hydrogen ions present. Now, to determine the pH of the soil, a mixture of water and soil in the proportion of 1:2 is taken. That is, if you take 1 part of soil, you have to add double the amount of water, and then that soil is tested on various, they use many indicators to test the soil, and accordingly soil may be found to be one of the following 3 types. So there are 3 types of soil. So soil can be of 3 types, that is acidic, neutral and alkaline. So when is it acidic? When the pH is less than 6.5, the soil is considered to be acidic. And if the pH is between 6.5 and 7.5, then the soil is neutral. And if it is higher than 7.5, pH is higher than 7.5, then the soil is considered to be of alkaline nature. Now, we must remember this, that soil texture, that is the feel of the soil, whether the soil is very fine or it is coarse. So, soil structure is disturbed if chemical fertilizers are used excessively. That is, lot of chemical fertilizers are used in a particular land. Then what will happen is the soil structure texture gets disturbed, and land becomes unsuitable for sowing. So you cannot continuously sow in this particular land where you have used a lot of chemical fertilizers. So crops should be rotated. That is, you should grow different types of crops. You should not grow the same type of crops in order to maintain the fertility of the soil. Now, why do they do is, for example, the fertility of the land decreases after harvesting of wheat. So wheat requires a lot of nutrients to grow. So once you grow wheat, what happens is the soil nutrients get diminished, and hence leguminous crops like peanut, mung, moth, bean, pea, lentil, Bengal gram, soya bean should be cultivated to restore the fertility, that is, to get back the fertility of the soil. In order to remember the importance of the conservation of and the protection of soil, World Soil Day is celebrated on 5th December every year. Do solve the questions given in the textbook. And to check your answers, please visit www.jkacademypro.com. The link is in the description box below.